All right, welcome back to our men's semifinal action here at the 2019 APTA Nationals, presented locally by PNC and national official sponsors Viking and Uline. And we're in action here. We had a power outage, but we're back up. And Arraya and Parsons won the first game against Compton and Kahler. So they're up 1 game to love. And it's love 15. So we'll go quickly around with our players on the court again. Juan Arraya in the back right here. Returning serve was Mark Parsons. On the far side in the blue, the light blue pullover there is Scott Kahler, also the director of racket sports here at the Fox Chapel Racket Club. And his partner Brian Compton in the all black.
A little bit about, we were talking about, you know, the it factor. What's this match going to come down to? And we all agree it's Arraya. He's got incredible talent. I would assume that Kahler and Compton are going to try to slow this thing down to a crawl, because I don't know if you mentioned, you know, the pace of play, and we know that Parsons and Juan play as fast as any team in the country, and Kahler and Compton can play as slow as any team in the country besides, you know, Broderick Palmer, who are still in the semis here, who are still in the draw.
You know, that's a great point, Patty, but it's an interesting thing. Yesterday, they didn't play slow. They were moving that ball. They were attacking the Rose brothers any chance they got. Kahler was looking to pounce on balls, you know, but you might be right. They may slow this thing down to a crawl, but they didn't do that yesterday.
Well, and we know paddle's a sport of matchups, Brad, and you know, you take the team you're playing and you have to adjust your style of play. The great teams adjust their styles of play.
Yep, no, absolutely. The other X factors, you talked about Araya's play, the other X factor is simply Compton and Kahler's execution. They played great yesterday, making their drives, they were up in there. You know, early on, you'll see who's got them feeling the confidence. At one time in the match, actually, Scott Kahler was hitting so well that he almost got overconfident. Started, and then he made a couple of shots that maybe he shouldn't have. The arrows crept in a little bit. The second set got really tight, but they were still able to pull it out. Oh, that is so good. What a get. Oh, incredible stuff.
30 all.
I mean, that was just an amazing shot.
And Kahler loves scooting up that side screen. I've seen him do it a lot this season, and he's a tall young man, Brad, and he can still go vertical. So, you know, Juan was tempted to hit that ball
30,
over his head.
40.
I mean, it's warm in Pittsburgh, but Kahler, not going to be a shot Juan will give Kahler too much. Brad, another thing to look for in this match will be the overheads. We know that Parsons has the roller, and we know Arraya has every other overhead in existence. And I just think, you know, they have a lot more overhead variety than you get out of the team of Kahler Compton. And I don't know if that'll be a factor or not.
Well, you're 100% right about that. In terms of finishing overheads, Kahler and Compton really don't have one. You're going to see a variety of these, long and deeps. And what Kahler and Compton are really good at is giving you a deep enough ball, reading when you're closing in, you know, reading when you're driving and closing in and stuffing that ball back. I was talking with Lauren yesterday, and great dropper there.
Arraya Parsons, they lead the first set 2 games to love.
And that's a great start from them. Right now, great execution out of Arraya Parsons.
And I would just think, you know, if the pace of play is this fast, it favors Arraya Parsons big time.
Yeah, they're going to slow this down, I agree. Ooh, there comes the sun. And man, that is bright. With all righties on the court, it's coming in from that side where it shouldn't be a factor at all.
The other semifinal featuring John Hughes and Drew Broderick, you know, you're right, it could factor in over there.
Factor in, but when you have a righty and a lefty, you can choose who's going to take the overheads, but it'll certainly make it more difficult for those lefties hitting those cutters that you have to be so confident on with a small window, contact window. That's a great ball. One of the things that was great that I saw this year from Arraya Parsons, he was able to, it was a year first to some degree for Arraya as well. It's the first time he was able to win the Short Hills Invitational, having been to multiple finals. And he did it by staying with a strategy of dumping the ball deep down the middle, dumping the ball deep down the middle, dumping the ball deep down the middle, then taking a ball when he had a perfect opportunity. And he stuck on script perfectly, and they won that match, you know, in good fashion. They were super tough out there. He's looking really sharp right now. And there you got Compton and Kahler trying to play a long point, but you're going to leave the ball short. You got the cut overhead from Arraya to finish points.
And Brad, your point about Araya's overhead choices, we've seen him over the years just pound them with tremendous spin, side back into that ad court corner. But the way that he won in Short Hills was dumping the ball deep down the middle. You teach that all the time, Brad. You're a former PPTA president. And, you know, dumping the ball down the middle deep with no pace. Super effective way to pull both players sort of to the middle a little bit. As long as you can keep the ball down low, it's great play. Opens up the court.
Yeah, depending on your opponents, it just gives them nothing that they can really hit well. And then after a while, they get sort of broken down, or you find a nick and you hit it, shoot one into the nick eventually, or you find a different ball. The key of things like that is the mental discipline to continue to do it. You see Kahler actually, yesterday he might have hit that. He's going like, with your route, we're going to slow this point down a little. Smart for him too, because they didn't get off to a good start. Let's play some longer point. That's trouble. All right.
30 all.
Finally a couple of misses out of Arraya there.
Brad, if you had to pick a player at a men's game, top player, who goes for a decent amount of offense off his two-handed backhand, you might know who I'm talking about. Mark Parsons. How many unforced errors?
Did you have to tell me who you were talking about? There you go. Thank you.
Well, I like to give you the answers to my questions, especially when I'm about to ask you about what the name of the three rivers that are here in Pittsburgh.
And what the three rivers are you referring to?
We'll come back to that in a second, Brad.
Because I know that one.
You do?
Yes, it's the Ohio, the Allegheny, and the Monongahela.
30.
So impressive, Brad, as always.
There you go.
So Parsons, anyway, what I was saying is, I mean, the guy is just rock solid, goes through the season. He's so efficient. How many unforced errors a set would you say Parsons averages? Oh,
he's very low in that regard. The only thing that can happen to him in the glitch once in a while is he'll press with his drive sometimes, but he's been so solid all season long and playing great ball.
Yeah, and all weekend. I mean, maybe 2 unforced errors.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's really incredibly low.
Well, what's incredible about it is he drives a ton of balls, too. So the fact that he makes them all is unbelievable. I mean, it's why he's absolutely going to be the next Canadian in the Hall of Fame, for sure.
And we have one other, we'll give a quick shout out to the other Parsons Arraya team, Maddox.
Yeah.
And Timo Arraya, Maddox, Parsons, and Timo Arraya. And Maddox is Mackenzie's little brother. And they played in the boys 10s and unders, finished semifinalists this year.
All right, this is a great opportunity for Kahler and
10 and under teams, thanks to the, having their 2 dads as pros, Brad. We know helps a lot. We had Carl Lebanon and Fazl's sons win, as well. So at National, it's kind of cool. So anyway, this is the other Parsons Arraya team searching for a national title this year.
Wow, what a great lob there by Compton. Oh! Oh, Arraya taking cuts, and
Game.
I can't
Compton,
say they're
Kahler.
bad for him,
Arraya
but he
Parsons
did
lead the first set,
miss
2
3 of
games to
them.
1.
So that is great. If he well, it's great for Compton Kahler. It's not great for Arraya, but if he loses any confidence, I don't think he will. I think he's going to keep hitting them, but any crack in the armor is what you're looking for as a player. So someplace you can try to exploit it on the court. Well, that's just great for those guys to get their first game underway. You know, that pressure. Now it's like, okay, we got.
Yeah, we're here in front of the home crowd.
We're here,
for Scott
right.
Kahler.
Exactly, and it was big. It was a little helped along by a couple of actually. You'd see Arraya put away 2 or 3 of those balls, and he happened to miss them all. But
And
anyway,
both of those overheads, Brad, that Juan missed, put in the net. He kind of looked like the ball dropped on him a little lower than what we usually see when he hits that shot. And I don't know if that's because of the warmer temperature here.
you know, I actually couldn't say on that. He clearly misread them and mistimed them. But that's great for them to get a game back here. So then now they're in the match. Now they've arrived here in the semifinals. Now Scott Kahler will serve and volley a fair amount, but they do a good job also letting it go through. It's a hard down serve, spins up. Oh, staying back. That's smart to mix that in for sure.
Brad, is there any truth to the rumor that every time Mark Parsons does his warm-up dance on the court, Dana does it at home?
I've heard the same thing. They're so connected that when he moves his feet side to side in that positive manner, she does the same.
Everyone in the
The whole
Parsons house
family.
gets up.
The whole family.
Yeah, that's the middle ball you see, Brad, that you spoke about earlier.
That's a great rip. Good shot. Surprised
15,
to
love.
see Parsons stay in there. Frequently, that might be a ball that he might bail on. Just let it come, because clearly Kahler had the advantage. A high, easy forehand that he could hit anywhere with pace. Great shot.
A little earlier, Kahler got that look, and he let it go, and I think Arraya just was thinking he was, just going to throw up a lob off the
15
screen.
all.
Scott Kahler's the director here, and Kelly Fisher is his assistant pro.
So there you see a switch in the backcourt. That makes the middle of the court extremely dangerous now when Ryan Parsons are like this. You'll actually see Brian Compton do that a lot. He'll hit more forehand volleys than a lot of guys, but he's pretty efficient on it. And when it's a crucial moment, he'll frequently go to the backhand volley. This is a good looking point here. Now it's taking some shape, this game. That's so good from Orion. That is what you got to watch out for. You can play him, but
15,
any ball
30.
that is average to short, he'll hit it and basically brazenly come in at any time. And every player who plays against him has to be ready for that. He'll come in and blitz on any ball. He is, to me, one of the top 2 or 3 people in transition in the game.
Totally agree, and that's always been something we've seen out of his. He'll come out of that ad court corner and just, move into the net and challenge the opposition. And for years, he dominated that. Now you see lots of other players who have the hands to stay in there in some of those confrontations. And I think with Jared Palmer coming into the sport with former #1 tennis doubles player in the world, he and Drew Broderick were able to negate that. I think that was a big shift in the game.
Oh, there's clearly a few things that Arraya does so well, and for you to really have, he wins a lot of matches, right? He's a great player, and for you to beat him, you have to be able to at least neutralize those things, and some of these guys that you're talking about can actually beat him at those things. Compton throwing a little fake. Nice pace here. They're looking for the right ball to drive. Look at that. They're just slowing it down too, giving them nothing to hit off the screens. Now this is what you were talking about earlier, slowing down the pace.
Yeah, this is what I expected out of Kahler and Compton.
More balls and more balls in play like that sort of takes the starch and the air out of the game. You know, the players who are looking to hit a lot of attacking shots, they're getting less opportunities to hit them. That was a great call there from Arraya, who blurted out that Kahler's coming in, and then Parsons pushed it a little lower, so we got double break point.
I like the play. Kahler running up there, making a move, but just got too low. He could have let the ball go through to Compton, I think.
Oh, that's nicely done. Great recognition from all players.
40.
Kahler coming in, then cutting across, then Compton
Compton just sticking that volley and
Yep.
picking the seams to make the ball go in the opposite direction than what they expected.
No. I mean, he's looking at the court.
Game. Arraya Parsons.
And
They lead
not
the
sure
first
what
set
it did,
3
but
games to 1.
it's a good ball there. Maybe Parsons hit a little inside out, had a little spin to the side, but great play in here from Parsons and Arraya. And Compton and Kahler do not have a rhythm yet.
I think that that was a big break here early in this match because they were trying to dictate off the real slow pace. Kind of worked against them, and Arraya and Parsons are in good shape early in this set, up 3-1. We're in Pittsburgh for the semis of the 2019 APTA National Championships.
Nice, Mark. 15. Love.
I love the energy, and I love it's only 3-1 in the first, and Parsons is going right here, right here. That just means keep it up, because we all know, Patty, all it takes in paddle is that crack. 1 or 2 errors, give your opponent some life, the momentum quickly changes.
15. All.
And I love that. You have to stay on somebody. If you're winning 6-love, 4-1, you can lose right there. You know, easily just by throwing in or losing your way and say, okay, we're close to the finish line. You know,
15,
you got to keep
30.
on every single ball, stay with the plan, keep it going all the way through. Oh, good job.
So that was a fault from Juan Arraya, who, according to Graham McNerney, who
30,
keeps
all.
stats on players, he and Jared Palmer are the guys who hold serve.
The
Best
most.
rate in the country, 86% of the time, Brad.
Wow,
40,
great play.
30.
40-30. And there you see 2 points in a row. The point before, the pressure Arraya put on Kahler and Compton, he made them completely uncomfortable, moving, hitting shots. They weren't sure where they were going. Ooh, surprise guest appearance there from Parsons.
Yep, a little bit of a flyer volley there.
Weird shot, though, from Compton. Had that high roll, but a little bit of pace. I think that was out.
Yeah, it wasn't a super crisp shot from Compton, but it did the job. Almost put it where 2 people could hit, and there was a little confusion.
Actually, I find a hard flat ball right at you low, that's easier to volley than something that's spinning up or moving down, or clearly a variety of balls that make you move your paddle from one place to another is much harder to deal with.
I think that's a great point, Brad. Higher level players, you know, the harder hit ball, they almost can time their first volley perfectly for that shot. It's a little, when you kind of let up on that pace, players will miss volleys getting a little bit out in front on it or hitting a little too early.
Ooh, good blitz though from Compton, and Parsons did yell hit it, but it was a little late, but he got it just out of his reach. It's such a different match right now than what they played yesterday with the Rose Brothers. Yesterday with the Rose Brothers, a lot more action, but here they know they can't just mix it up like
Kahler
you
and
said
Compton.
before. Yeah, sorry. Kahler and Compton, you know, were just a lot more action against the Rose Brothers. Here they're slowing it down, as you, to your point before, Patty. Throwing an occasional blitzes. Oh, that was a good look.
Add in.
That's what we've seen. Kahler will just sit on that. He'll just wait till he gets that high forehand. He's actually pulled out a couple two-handed backhands, which he's kind of added to his game over the last year.
He hit it well yesterday. I mean, that was a good look. It's what they want. It's the point they want to play. You got to execute that shot. That's all.
You gotta help. Yep, no one. You, please. I know.
It's nice of Juan to say please to Mark to hit the ball.
Yep, that was actually very nice.
Yeah, he's full of etiquette.
I mean, there's no call for bad manners, Patty. Even here in the booth. Isn't that right, John? Production manager John has some of the best manners. He's a well-mannered individual.
Everyone from ENet I've noticed has extraordinary manners.
They were raised right.
You. You, please.
Again.
Oh, that's a great shot. Beautifully done with that backhand. One of the things Arraya does so well, people don't talk about that much, is he holds the ball with his lob and he pushes it up so quickly and oftentimes at the perfect height that it moves you back fast, forces you to hit a down up overhead, and the play gets quicker. And that's what he wants. And then all of a sudden he's, oh! Here's where Compton and Kahler could so use a couple little breaks.
Yes.
Nicely done by Compton.
Mimi.
Nick.
No.
Great hands from Arraya there.
No, just missed it.
Add in.
I thought Kahler spotted that drive beautifully, got Juan to flip his paddle over, and Juan maintained control, just let the ball rebound right off his paddle on his forehand.
Yeah, Arraya has amazing hands, and he did it perfectly. And the funny thing about it was Compton easily would have had it, but the whole play happened so fast. And Araya's volley was actually screened by Kahler's body, so he didn't see it.
A hockey play, right? Screen the goalie.
That's one of the classic hockey plays.
Well, we're in a hockey town.
Very
Pittsburgh
much so.
Penguins, 5 Stanley Cups.
I had the pleasure of spending some time in Pittsburgh, too, a few years ago doing a certification out here. It's a great town. Warhol Museum's very cool. Some neat spots.
Some guy named Mario Lemieux, I think, is the owner of the Penguins.
Some guy.
Some guy who won the Stanley Cup. Only person.
I heard he was an
Won the
average
Stanley
player.
Cup as a player and an owner, Brad.
Yeah, one of the all-time hockey greats. Oh, great move from Arraya. No call from Kahler, though. He's got to be having his eyes forward, making sure he's in the middle of the court. That's dangerous. They're lucky to get away from that one. I like this. They're actually waiting out Arraya. Arraya's up there ready to serve, and they're just taking their time.
Yo. Yo, please.
That's awesome right there. Compton will do that. He thinks you're going to hit the ball down up into his backhand side. He'll cut it off and jump the route with a big backhand.
Brad, quickly, speaking of the Lemieux, shout out to Natalie Lemieux and Betsy Joseph. They came through, won the consolation draw here at Nationals over Muller and Urban in 3 sets. Congrats to the consolation reprieve draw winners, Birmingham and Parker, who took out Driscoll and Kammerer.
Add in.
And the 6-4 consolation reprieve draw, Coaches and Newman defeated Kahler and Trumbold.
Yeah, it's great to remember all the competitors that were out here. Basically about 400 of them. They're all in there for something. And if you lose, there's plenty of other draws out there. Now, that was a great hold from Arraya Parsons, but Kahler made a mistake in that last point. He moved to the inside, tried to drive behind Arraya, but he left his line open, and Arraya gets a stuffed volley winner. That was a big game they were in. I really feel like for Compton and Kahler in this set, they got to play clean, you know, good choices time after time again. But the problem is, it's not so easy to do. You got to take a risk anytime you're driving the ball against Arraya and Parsons.
And it's a tall task for them to come back with their style of play, with their slow down, not tremendously naturally offensive minded.
Right. See, the issue with the slowdown isn't, it's not a bad tactic. It's a good tactic. It's Arraya and Parsons may have to help them out by hitting the wrong shots, and they're not doing that right now. And it's still going to come down to what can Kahler and Compton do to Arraya and Parsons? How are they going to hurt them?
Right. Quickly, Brad, I want to give a shout out also to the 64 reprieve draw winners, Cindy Prendergast, Lauren Zink over Wolf and Yarbrough. 32 reprieve draw winners, Nuzlocke and Prusis over Eicherle and Eisenhardt. And then we had Curtis and Stoklasova, who came through, won the 60 reprieve draw over Redesno, Hernandez, and Warner. And lastly, Andreeva and Zabori came through, won the quarterfinal reprieve over Delmonico and Gebbia. Congrats to all the players. Everyone's guaranteed 3 matches. Most people come to Nationals, Brad, and get about 6 or 7.
Yeah, great job by Zabori and Andreeva. 5th place at Nationals is pretty good. And speaking of which, after these men's semifinals, we'll have the women's final. Looking forward to an incredible match. Last year's champions, Cruz and Nicolescu, the 3rd seed here against the number 2 seeds, Barrington and Nika.
That's going to be an exciting final. Nicolescu missed most of the year, giving birth, a really good reason to miss most of the year. And she's back after, just 3 months on the court. And, I mean, they hit their stride yesterday and took out current number 1s, Hanisch and Van Sternberg, in the semi. Brad, I think your point about what do Kahler and Compton have to do here, you just kind of feel like they have to get, it's all about Arraya and Parsons gifting some points, and I don't think Parsons is going to give too many, so I think it still goes right back to this match is going to be decided by Juan Arraya.
Well, right now the level hasn't been there for Compton and Kahler. I'm not seeing nearly the offense they had yesterday. I mean, it's just different matchups and different plays. They're not able to get the shots. All credit to Arraya and Parsons. They make you so uncomfortable out there.
Oh, my Lord. Did you see that shot, how he held his paddle, flicked it on the other side?
You got a little, I mean, he only missed it by literally an inch. But that's the creativity and the racket work of Arraya. He really is ridiculously good at holding his paddle, moving it around. So that is just, they're crushing it right now. 5-1 here, Arraya Parsons. No answers, no rhythm yet for Compton Kahler. There's a nice ball. Oh, so clean. So smooth. That's just a great shot.
15, love.
Kahler and Compton have another gear. They have no idea where to find it. Actually, Arraya and Parsons have another gear here too, but they haven't even had to use
don't
it
need
at all.
it. Right.
Arraya and Parsons probably have a couple more gears. There we go. We saw two good drives there through the middle.
15, all.
See if they can start to find some of their offense, find their confidence.
That's an important shot for Compton, just like you said, to get some confidence. Most importantly, Arraya and Parsons start out this match hitting a lot of balls up the middle, and if Compton can make a play and come up with a couple easy points, that could change what Arraya and Parsons want to do. Brad, you can see how they let that ball go through and how far that ball came into the court. This is a very lively court.
Great ball there from Compton. Knew exactly what Arraya was
15,
doing. Positioned
30.
himself to spike that ball. And Arraya makes that shot many times. He missed that one. The turnaround drive into the screen. He's one of the best at that.
Yep, but the ball, you know, is just coming out. This is a temporary court they put up over the tennis courts here.
30,
And
all.
it's
30 all now.
it's lively.
Yeah. Oh, just two misses now from Kahler Compton.
40, 30.
Thanks, Ray.
All right, a visit into the booth from Ray Crosta. Helping us out here.
He's one of our ENET commentators over the years. Handles the rankings for the men and women.
Yeah, that is a job where you're always asking questions about this and that. People are, what are the rankings like? How did I end up the 15th seed, not the 10th seed?
Right.
So on
How
and so
many
forth.
points did I earn in that tournament?
Right, and it's a great shot there from Compton. I love it. Gets an easy ball. They've been dumping it. He tags Arraya with that. It's a great shot. If Compton Kahler can get something going. They've had a point here and a point here, but nothing even resembling like a run or a rhythm or a pattern. Even a pattern of point. Clearly, Arraya and Parsons have the control of the action, and then
Add in.
yeah, they're just not quite executing. I mean, that's not a bad look. They've missed 3 of them in this game. Four of them. And that is game and first
Arraya
set.
Parsons, they win the
6-1
first
to
set,
Arraya
6 games to 1.
Parsons, and we'll be back in
2
just a
minutes,
moment after these messages right here on the APTA Network, presented by ENET Live.
From spinning, to swinging, to throwing, you never know what's next for you. That's why at North Shore Orthopedic Institute, we're always thinking ahead of the curve. From treating the pros to weekend warriors. From minimally invasive procedures to regenerating knee cartilage, helping you wake up pain-free. At North Shore, we're not just here for you now, we're helping you be ready for what's next.
Welcome back to the 2019 APTA National Championships. We are in the men's semi-final round match between the number 2 seeds of Arraya and Parsons against the number 6 seeds of Compton and Kahler, and that was just a great set from Arraya and Parsons, and Compton Kahler just couldn't execute and had no answers out there. Basically what a difference a day makes. You know, Compton Kahler against the Rose brothers yesterday were pounding drives through the middle, looking for offense, attacking, but what a difference a different team makes and the confidence level and how they affect you. You know, they are right now haven't had any answers for Arraya and Parsons.
Brad, we wondered going into this match about the experience or lack thereof on the big stage. This is Kahler and Compton's first appearance for either of them in the semis of nationals. We know Parsons has been here many times and has a couple national titles to his name. Juan's still searching, played in a final a couple years ago with Jeff Morneau, and I just think maybe Compton and Kahler, they just have to hit delete button right now, forget about that set.
Yeah.
And I think they have to really work hard these first 2 games because clearly Parsons and Arraya are great front runners, Brad, and the style of play of Compton Kahler makes it tough to come back once they're down because they're just not that explosive offensively.
All right, here's Scott Kahler to start the second set. They're starting in an I formation. Australian, another great return from Arraya. And they have had no answers. There was a little more aggressive play, though, from Kahler right off the bat.
15.
You know, maybe they're going to try and mix it up. I mean, it's funny, the set was 6-1, and the one game Compton Kahler got was the one game Arraya missed 3-4 cuts in that he could have put away. I mean, that could have been a bagel, that set. It was so well played from Arraya Parsons. It just
This,
flat
we've just said it has the feel of a match that Parsons and Arraya, number 2 team in the country, you know, they're dictating play. They're dictating really every point here, and it's on their paddle. And if they don't give away any errors, this is going to be a tough task for Kahler and Compton here today.
Well, right now, I just don't see any confidence out of Kahler and Compton. Like, confidence to pull the trigger. When they're pulling the trigger on the drive, they're 50-50 on them, you know, making one, missing one. And, you know, they're going to have to get that percentage up to 80-90. But it's been so hard. They're getting beaten at every turn. You know, you lose your confidence, you know, and they're going to need something to happen in a good way, or they're going to have to change their strategy.
Brad, with these top players in these matches, I go back to the point that we talked about earlier, it's the variety of overheads, and I just don't feel like Compton and Kahler, you know, put a variety of spins to, you know, to try to, you know, open up some court or break down Parsons and Arraya. I just don't see that they have that shot that does anything to Juan and Mark. Compton's exploded on one roller overhead, hit Juan.
Well, you're right. They don't have
He's going to have to do that more.
They don't have that kind of offensive overhead. They really don't.
Not the slashes. They don't have that
correct.
ability to come around the ball, keep the ball really low.
He's going
There's
for
a little
more.
bit more spin. He took a big
Yeah,
cut
what
on
I
that.
do like right now is they're not playing afraid. They're going now with Arraya Parsons. Now you can say you don't want to play fast with Arraya Parsons, you want to slow it down, but now they're playing. Before it almost looked like they were playing tentative or
30, 15.
scared. When they got their shots, they weren't hitting them. Now they played that. That was good. You know, 30-15 now. You got to give your opponent respect. You got to have a strategy, but you got to hit your shots when you get them.
30
Confidence.
all.
30 all. And there were a couple of moments in yesterday's match where Kahler, you know, was just going
30,
toe to toe. He
40.
was taking the match, even at crucial moment in the second, right up on the net, taking every ball, you know, and just haven't seen that sort of energy yet. See, that is flat. like he's either
Game.
closing.
Arraya
Scott
Parsons,
Kahler
they
is
lead
one of
the
the
second
best
set, 1
at
game to
closing
love.
back in
They
on the
won
net
the
and
first
stuffing a
set,
volley,
6
but
games to 1.
he's out of sorts. He didn't bail. He didn't come back in. Arraya punched at his feet.
Brad, I think where I've seen Kahler had more success on the volley is when he's to the right of his partner at the net, where he can clog that middle, and I've seen him be real effective that way. He did look a step or two slow on that shot, slow in his decision making and slow in his reaction.
Yeah, he was behind the service line. And then Arraya had a perfect pace ball. He didn't hit it hard, so it wasn't going to fly to the back, which is a great shot by Arraya. And he hit it till it was moving just enough, and it was completely caught.
Mark Parsons to serve. Scott Kahler returning serve.
And they are laser focused, Arraya and Parsons.
I always think for a team to get to the national finals and possibly put themselves in a position to win it, they have to be efficient. And they're playing a real efficient match. They're just making very few unforced errors.
Well, they're making almost none, except for that one game that Compton Kahler won where he missed 3 slashes. They've been basically dominating the points.
How many unforced errors did Parsons have in the first set?
I didn't see.
Did he reach 2?
I don't think I didn't see 1. Now that said, Arraya put away more balls, but Parsons didn't make a
Parsons,
single
not
error.
one mistake in the first set.
30.
My over-under was 2. Would have lost that bet.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
You took the under, didn't you, Brad? You knew.
I'm a seasoned and smart wagerer.
Very wise.
Oh, that's so good, that little turnaround drive. And there's the transition play that Arraya is so good at. And he didn't even hit a great
40,
volley. It's the
love.
threat oftentimes that'll make you miss.
Yeah, and you don't win those exchanges against Arraya if you're standing back on the service line on your heels. Compton kind of got caught back
Game.
there. And
Arraya Parsons.
Wow.
he was lucky he didn't get
They
hit.
lead the second set, 2 games to love.
I mean, here's the thing, Patty. It's a situation, 6-1, 2-love. You're getting handled in every part of the game. You got to stay positive. I like they're staying back there. They're talking. And
But the Parsons are up in their house.
bouncing
They got-
around.
they
in
got the
unison
bounce
with,
going. Yep.
Yeah, doing the Team Parsons dance. Gotcha. Wow, that's
Oh,
so
yeah.
good.
Compton and Kahler are going to fight. They're
Good.
both awesome competitors.
Oh, they're working hard and trying out there, but I'm not sure they know what to do right now, or how to go about it.
What was their strategy in the first set, Brad?
I didn't find one. Did you find one?
I did not. That's why you wise one. I was
they,
asking for it.
They slowed it down a few times, but I didn't see them setting up specific offense. But then again, Arraya Parsons didn't give them anything. And then when they took shots, they were only doing about 50% on them. So, stuff like that can feed on itself. You make your first 3 drives, you're feeling good. You miss the first 2 or you miss 2 out of 3, then all of a sudden you're having a rougher day.
Yep.
And look, I don't think there's anybody who's going to take Compton and Kahler necessarily as the favorites in this match. Usually if you're not the favorite, you have to play a clean, good
Love,
match. Really good.
15.
I think Kahler's, looking for some offense there up the middle with his 2-handed backhand. I would love to see Compton just look for a little bit more offense. I've seen him play where he's as good as anyone in the country at times.
He was crushing the ball yesterday. But
So I
different
would like
opponents.
him to kind of see if he could dominate some play up the middle here instead of Kahler's 2-handed backhand, which I think when he hits it, Arraya and Parsons are in perfect position every single time for the volley. Kahler took it down the line and forced an error out of Arraya one time in the first set. But I'd love to see Compton's forehand make a difference here. But Compton's 2-handed backhand, I mean, he had that sweet rip.
He's got a
Love
great
to see him
two-handed backhand.
look for more.
shot there. Great positioning for he's still looking down. He cannot believe he missed that volley from being in perfect position. Paddle right there.
I think Juan was just trying to contain himself emotionally right there, Brad.
Well,
and he
did a
was
good
going to
job.
see if this could be one of those moments where when he missed a shot, there were no sound effects. And he
Right.
accomplished that.
Well, maybe being up 6-1 to love helps in that regard too, but all right, there's a little help.
30-15.
Right. Juan's still thinking about the volley error.
This could be. Could be.
When will Parsons make his first error, Brad?
I mean, I'm going to go.
Are we an
after-
hour into this
when
match?
they change balls next, he'll make his. Yeah. Oh, that's a few too many games. I'm going to go within 3 games. We'll be on the lookout for it. Good ball. Oh, wow.
Brad, what's the longest you've gone on a court in a match without making an error?
Well, usually I get it out of the way right away in the warm-up. And then I don't have to worry about it, Patty. So it's no longer hanging over my head. I'm just trying not
30
to
all.
put that much pressure on myself to be error-free.
It's great strategy as always, Brad.
No, not at all. But
There's that two-hander of Compton.
no, but it's a funny thing you say because you're talking about it in all seriousness. It's like first match I might play in a practice match of the season or something like that after not playing, and my goal might be something like, okay, today I'm not going to miss one lob in this practice match. You know, I'm just gonna, every single one. I'm not going to single lob out. You know, or in the net. You know, and I'm going to make 80% of my returns and make sure, you know, and that might be
40,
good. You know,
30.
lock into a certain type of consistent play. All right, here we go. A game point for Compton and Kahler. That'll be huge for them to just get a game. This is exactly where we were in the first set too. They were down 2-love. This is where they got their first game and only game in that first set.
An update on the other men's semifinal. Hughes and Powers are up 5-3 on Broderick Palmer.
Deuce.
Arraya is doing such a good job holding the ball that Compton Kahler usually close off the net so well, but he's sort of, you know, when they're up there, he's giving them a diet of push low, quick lob up, push low, quick lob up, quick lob up, quick lob up, push the ball low. You know, he's just keeping them off balance. Oh, that's a heck of a drop shot right
Really
there.
good.
Wow. Hometown crowd, a little clap in there.
Beginning of the season, we saw a lot of I formation with Arraya and Parsons, and they've gone back to more of a traditional setup.
Yep. And we saw it again just there. A lot of the great teams can change their formats, the styles. It's so dangerous with Parsons' ability to strike the ball with his ground strokes, and Arraya at the net is just such a, you know, great combination.
But I'm a big fan of the Parsons roll overhead, and I like him where he's up there with Juan.
Add out.
Oh, great stab volley there from Kahler.
What a lob from Juan right there. Perfect lob out of that deuce court toward the tee.
He's such a fluid and artistic player. That chip he hit was beautiful.
It's kind of textbook volleying by Parsons Arraya there. Compton got a great look on his two-handed backhand there, and they just had shifted over, paddles set. No big deal. Against a lot of players in the country, that would have won Compton the point.
Oh, Arraya just all over that drive from Kahler. You know, but it's funny, so you take the whole match, and on balance, you know, out of 10 games, how many hard drives have you seen, like, you know, attacking drives out of Kahler and Compton?
So far,
I mean, that's a great shot. But even that's more of a roller through the middle, and you got, you know, hey, he had a great shot, got the leg cord, got the win.
maybe 3.
Yeah, we haven't seen, there's nothing that's been attacking. You know, they haven't found a way to put any pressure on Arraya. You know, at this point, it looks like they're counting on Araya's mistakes or, you know, Parsons making mistakes. And they're just playing great. You know, they're not giving him anything. Oh, that's so good. Great nick. Well played. Ah! See, there's one of the, you know, few errors they've given him, but that's what they're going to need. Ah!
Wow.
So slippery there from Parsons. That's a great shot. Nice. So Powers Hughes just won their first set. Six games of 3, I believe.
I think that's right.
Oh,
Paris and Hughes had gotten off to a quick start in that match. I think they were up 3-love, Brad.
4-love.
4-love, and then Broderick Palmer clawed back into it.
Yeah.
Clawed
You
their
always
way.
want that kind of feeling, at least that you got yourself into the match. You've arrived in it. You know, we said that when they got their first game. You know, Kahler and Compton arrived when they got the first game of the first set. At get behind 2-1, but still waiting for them to arrive here. It's tough. Ryan and Parsons are just so good. There is something that feels different about this season, you know, too, for, you know, we've talked about, you know, Obviously, Mark Parsons has 3 national championships. Arraya has none, but has been, you know, one of the absolute top 3 or 4 players in the game for the last few years. He won 5 tournaments in a row last year with 5 different partners to start the season. Before Powers and Hughes went on their incredible run, winning the last 6 tournaments. But it feels like things are a little more, like he's playing more disciplined, more under control. He's got a great national champion partner, you know. So it just feels like it's a good year here for Arraya and Parsons to make a move, and for Arraya to possibly get his first championship. That's 3-love.
Yeah, and I mean, that point was an amazing point. Spectacular shots all around. And but, I mean, Arraya came up with 2 low balls that I didn't even think could get over, and as low as they immediately were. And he just found a little spot right there and forced the error out of a very disappointed Scott Kahler on that.
You know, you could say they could try to play longer points, but when they tried to play longer points, they've never had, you know, they're not gaining any offensive opportunities or taking any attacks there, and eventually Arraya gets a cut shot, or of the balls they're attacking, the balls get either volleyed back easily or they miss. You know, I'd like to see them almost, I don't really know what the answer is here, but I'd rather see them not go down swinging crazily, but I'd rather see them start to just get some juice in the match, you know, whatever that is. All right, so again, there's our weather forecast. It's beautiful. We had a hard rain over the night, but incredibly warm, incredible nice day out.
Brad, what's the time on the match so far?
No, I wouldn't know. We're going to have to go to our production manager, John. 57 minutes, yeah.
So will Mark Parsons go 1 hour without an unforced error? What do you think, Brad? We've only got 3 minutes to go.
Sure. He's going to make that.
I hope it's not the announcer's curse.
And then, yeah, it does happen. Of course, it is a real thing. I've never tried it the other way, though. Like to say, oh, you will, you know, you will not win the lottery, you know, and therefore, well, so you're going to win the lottery. Got to figure out how to use these specific powers. Not even sure what my announcer powers are. Oh, geez. See, there you take Kahler taking 2 strikes.
30-love.
Making 1 out of 3. Just tough day out there. Rather see him try to go toe-to-toe or something. Not really sure. I actually have no answers for them.
It's amazing that you don't have the answers.
Yeah. And I admitted it. My fiance would be equally amazed.
Brad, I mean, the growth in you.
Yeah, right here on air.
Right here in front of our very eyes.
All these admissions and personal growth that I'm exhibiting.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for sharing. I think that's going to really allow some other people to make progress as well, Brad.
Happy to make a difference, Patty.
Yeah, you've got to recognize the issue. And
all right, there was a great ball there from Kahler. He's taken 3 of those shots. That one he made, great shot right at Araya's feet. I like it. See there, at least going at it a little. Play some of your game. That's what we saw yesterday from them. That's it. Get some energy. Oh!
There it is. What's the time?
30.
He did not
He
make
did not
it,
make the
Brad.
hour. Good job using your announcer powers, Patty. There. Go at him. Hit it.
30.
Great shot.
Yeah, just bring the heat. They might as well.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, go at him.
they've got to
Like,
take
they
some
got to
risks.
start attacking. They can't play this passive game because they're not getting anything.
You know, the other thing I would consider if I'm Kahler Compton, Brad, I'm a big fan of switching sides on the baselines if you're
some-
struggling to find your offense.
Different looks out there.
Yeah, they can all play all the screens. Screens are not even a part of the decision. And, you know, early in the first set, Kahler got over on that ad court and ended up hitting a winner off a high ball that he took on his forehand. And sometimes just giving the guys a different look.
Yeah, at this point, Patty, I agree
be
with
worth
you.
it.
A different look is a great idea. I mean, nothing really is working. So put the kitchen sink out there, switch in the backcourt, move around a little. Keller should have played that one. But and start creating something different. I loved it when I saw him actually drive and blitz in and attack Arraya a couple of times there. Hit that.
There we go.
And then look to follow it up with a blitz. There you go.
See, that's that forehand
Game,
that I've seen
Compton
Compton hit effectively.
Arraya Parsons lead the second set 3
And
games
taking
to 1.
that shot rather than have Kahler hit his two-handed backhand.
Right. It's a great ball there, but that's the first game we've seen him hit 2 or 3 drives that I could say they actually won the game. They won. They hit some good shots. The other game
Love,
they won.
15.
Arraya just missed 3 balls.
How good was that return of serve right
Yeah,
there
it
to
was
start
great.
this game?
That's the other problem. I mean, look, you're going to have to play well enough and then withstand their own shots. I mean, Ryan Parsons is still going to make great shots. But you got to be able to go and hang in there with him shot for shot. And it just hasn't been that way at all yet. And there's another miss from Parsons. You really did it to him. Oh, jeez. Arraya is so good. But at least he tried to attack him, but I'd rather see him go hard. Not the
15,
chip
30.
backhand at Arraya. That's Araya's wheelhouse. Attack him with a hard ball. Or don't. Oh, did that go off the screen and out of the court?
15,
Ah, what a
40.
bummer. All right, 15-40.
Huge bummer right there for Kahler. Kahler stayed back as a result of that other tough return of serve there.
Oh, well, you got to mix in staying back with coming in and use multiple service strategies. Hit it. Good ball.
All right, well, that's
30,
the two-hander.
40.
Kahler didn't have to move to the middle for it. Was kind of a couple of boards over. Would have been a little bit better, but Kahler hit it.
All right, back
Parsons-
to deuce. Couple
Parsons
of
made
little
a second
breaks.
error.
No, third.
Third. Okay.
Yeah, you really did it to him, Patty.
Oh my gosh, the jinx.
Compton and Kahler, thank you. There you go, a little switch in the backcourt, but that's just a switch back. You kind of want to see some different looks out there. And I agree with you. But here we see the semblance of a couple, got to execute.
He had a great look on that
Advantage.
down the line
did.
shot.
He did. I'd rather they didn't play the cat and mouse game, but it was good luck. He just missed it. Ooh. Oh, gets down and dirty, does Parsons there. That's a great ball at the crease. Easily played, though, by Parsons. Well done. that's so good. Nice. Much better point here. That's it. And Arraya makes the mistake now. That's it. He takes the drive from the wrong side. They got him playing a good point. That's a great point there from Compton Kahler. See if they could pull this game out. Nice. Parsons gonna hit that. Yes! Way to go! And I would say Kahler and Compton won the. Oh, they haven't won this one yet, but they're winning some points now. This is big. And we're getting a few errors ever since you know.
Yep, jinxed him.
Jinxed them. We've gotten a few errors out of Parsons, error out of Arraya, not an error, but a bad play moving around the ball and giving Kahler an opening to stuff the volley behind him. So little life here from Compton Kahler. If they can continue to execute and keep it going, then that's great. And we got a match.
And we said, you know, this.
So I expected to see a little more of this, Patty.
Right, and I mean, no one goes an hour and 5 minutes without an unforced error, Brad. And, you know, that's kind of, you know, has enough time gone by and Kahler and Compton waited it out where they're just getting a couple of misses. And we always know Juan will be the, you know, the highlight film. He'll hit spectacular shots. He'll also be the one who will make some misses because he hits riskier shots than Parsons overall. And right here, you know, Kahler and Compton have a little second life here on the court, and they're, you know, they're keeping it close. They have to be. I knew if Parsons and Arraya had any bit of a lead, it was going to be tough for Compton Kahler to come back. But we're at 3-2. Mark Parsons serving, Scott Kahler hitting the return.
Yeah, I'm not going to go full out and say they got life yet, but this is a spark.
Well,
You know.
I feel it. I mean, they got you to give them a, you know, a cheer there, Brad. So I consider that light.
Good cutter. There you go.
Wow.
That's what we were seeing yesterday. Kahler was pouncing on balls anytime they tried to go into his corner. It was a big one. See if they can keep this going. Now they're hitting the ball.
30.
All right. Little confidence. See if you can fan that spark. The shot I don't necessarily love. I want them to hit it. I'll play the cat and mouse ball.
And the cat and mouse is just engaging with Juan Arraya, where you're hitting these off-speed shots and angles, and that just kind of feeds right into what his strengths are as a player.
Another good ball there from Compton down at the feet. Love 40. There it is.
Love that look at that too.
And there we go. Attacking back. So we, again, there it is. 3-all.
The crowd is loving it. You can hear the cheers for
People always
Kahler,
want to
who's
see
the
a
director.
good match, Patty.
Yeah, they want to see a great match. And I know you do, Brad.
I do as
You
well.
do.
Ah. Nicely read. Compton was there before Arraya even finished his stroke. That's the thing now. It's funny, when they first came on the scene, the spin overheads were just like, nobody could even imagine what they, now everybody knows how to handle them to some degree. Look, he could still cut it and it would be too good and you can't get it back, but
Right, the top players can handle most of the overheads from the other top players. It wears them down for sure.
Yeah.
but they can get them back at, at some point they're going to lob a ball short and leave themselves real vulnerable, but they do make a remarkable percentage of their shots.
Well, when you hit a finishing overhead, obviously you've gotten the point and you've won it, but if you don't hit a finishing overhead, oftentimes the spin overhead can hurt you as much as help you, meaning if the ball spins but sits up versus dies in the court or runs into the back screen, it takes usually a longer stroke to hit a spin overhead, and a bigger stroke it lets you. It's not as quite easy to react if your opponent's able to attack it back at you or get it. It's a little harder to defend after you've hit it. There you go, Arraya getting right back into this. We saw, which is great. Compton Kahler getting a little life, but they're going back to a plan of giving them nothing. They're going to keep dumping it down the middle, not give the ball high and hard off the screens. The only thing I want to see out of Compton and Kahler is when they get a ball to hit, I'd rather they hit it. Not just sort of roll it or hit it.
Right. The off-speed drives or the off-speed shots just aren't really efficient for them.
That I don't mind. It's a solid probing drive.
Yep.
Oh.
Out.
All right, looking for the confirmation. That's too bad.
Love 15.
Yeah, rare lob long in this match despite the warmer weathers.
Well,
Warmer
that's what's
weather.
great, though, about what Arraya and Parsons are doing there. They play on a point like the way they think that Compton and Kahler want to play, but Arraya and Parsons waited them out. Just kept dumping it down. They didn't do anything to Compton Kahler. Compton just missed the lob. So they've been able to wait them out on any of the long points that Compton Kahler, and without making a shot that is giving Compton Kahler anything. And it's a good play. That's a great lob. Oh, what positioning.
Oh, what a shot from Kahler.
Parsons played that perfectly, moved himself in the perfect position. He
15
probably
ball.
thought he hit a great volley, but what hands there from Kahler. That's an incredible shot.
And you saw this, how much Parsons shifted over to cover the Kahler shot.
Yep.
And then Kahler was so aware of the open spot Parsons left behind.
Yeah, that was just a great pickup, though.
Was it behind Parsons or in front of Parsons, Brad?
What are you
That
talking
shot that Kahler hit.
about? Yeah, he got moved out wide, and the ball went right behind where he used to be before when he picked up that half volley. It's pretty impressive. These are great lobs now, setting up a drive. Right. Good spot drive. Face. This is the look you like. Change it there. Almost. He went for it, though.
15, 30.
But that's not Kahler's shot. Kahler likes that high ball up, in closer to his body. That ball is moving away from him.
Yep.
Not his best shot.
No, but I'm seeing more of that shot out of Kahler these days. He's actually getting more comfortable with it. I mean, clearly missed that one. Clearly was not in good position for it.
He just sort of hits that, down on that ball, that down up forehand.
So good from Compton. Staying with him.
30 all.
30 all.
We see Niculescu and Liz Cruz standing out there. They've had some warm-up, and they're waiting for the completion of both men's semifinals, Brad, before the women's final gets underway.
Yep.
30, 40.
I think that's the plan at least, Patty, but I think it'll depend on timing and other things.
Brad, what time is it here in Pittsburgh? I'm looking up at the APTA clock that you see in paddle huts all around the country.
It is
They didn't quite
10:35,
spring
but
ahead yet here in the paddle hut.
yeah, that clock says 7:47, which clearly is wrong. So 10:35 here.
Women's finals slated for around 11, but like we said, it will be at the completion of both men's semifinals.
There comes Parsons.
There's no doubt who's going to hit
When
those
Arraya
balls.
calls.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a loud caller. Jeff Morneau, also a very loud caller.
Yep. And the more intense the moment is, the louder that you're going to hear them call it.
It was funny when it was Morneau and Arraya playing together, both shouting calls out there.
And did they both yell you?
Yes. That's good overheads. Just keeping them moving, trying to give them very little, and they're doing a good job of it. So you just keep dumping it down the middle. Staying away from the Compton backhand and the Kahler forehand. Pushing, dumping. They know this is the place where they're most likely to get an error. Great move from Compton.
Yeah.
Beautifully done. Parsons has to call that out. He must have been looking back.
But credit, Compton lulled them there. Wasn't really looking to drive forehand off the deck, just using the screen, and took his chance. That was really
You're
good
100%
recognition.
right, Patty. I mean, it's one of those things where if you're playing a team and they constantly are giving you nothing in the backcourt, looking to throw in a blitz is a great way to counter that. 'Cause they're usually giving you nothing by pushing the ball soft and slow and deep time and time again. And a blitz is a great play on that ball. Great shot by Arraya there, though. Oh, wow. Parsons with the offensive volley. Kahler got stuck up a little bit.
Parsons, they lead the
Nice
second set
job.
4 games
Well,
to
Parsons
3.
did what I would do
They
if,
won the first set 6 games to
Kahler did what I would do. If I see Parsons lining up a shot, Kahler just kind of tucked down. He's a tall guy. Tried to give Parsons very little possible spots to hit him. But that kind of got him planted, and he had a hard time recovering for that next shot.
So you would have tucked down there, Patty?
Well, I don't really need to tuck, Brad.
You just kind of...
I start down.
You start down? That's the way to be. Absolutely. Make yourself a small target up there. You're 100% right. All right, but this is still better out there. It's great. All right, so Patty, you can't do a great event like this without some great sponsors, and Uline is one of those. Uline is leading distributor of shipping, industrial, and packaging materials to businesses throughout North America. They ship over 2.5 million boxes every day, but they are so much more than a box company. More than 32,000 quality products are always in stock and ready to ship. Outstanding customer service means they're here when you need them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Uline, the best selection, products, and people for an unforgettable customer experience.
You're a big fan of Uline. You ship all your outfits for your live streaming tournaments around the country, Brad. You plan in advance.
Wouldn't
what
do
you're
it
gonna
any
wear.
other way, Patty.
No, Uline's great. They've been a great supporter of platform tennis.
Oh, and a great company.
Big time in Chicago.
All right, here's Arraya. See if they can consolidate that. Go up 5-3. Finally seen some really good play. Kahler and Compton getting their feet underneath them a little, starting to attack back. Finding some opportunities to get some offense. Took a while, getting a few errors.
15.
Took your announcer powers to get a few errors out of Parsons. And those make a huge difference. So it's love 15. Big, nice.
Love the move from Kahler.
I don't mind it at all because they got to play with confidence in attacking. They got to go toe-to-toe to some degree. Kahler likes to blitz, and those are great plays.
Yep.
And even though he almost got burned by Arraya in the last point, awesome job. He didn't. They turned it around. Love 30. Great job.
Fascinating. They know they have to break, and all of a sudden they went in attack mode and won both points.
Compton, a little off balance.
15-30.
Knew the high wind was coming, but his body was moving back into the left a little. Nice. See, and then Arraya. Now, all of a sudden, because you're playing better and going toe-to-toe, you get a few more errors, too. All right, 2 break points.
Kind of like this with Parsons staying over on that side, to the right of your screen. He had some real effective rollover heads yesterday that made a difference. And he only
30,
can, he
40.
can hit them more effectively from that other position.
All right, 30-40. Just over it,
Wide.
called wide. Umpire does not overrule,
Game,
so
Compton, Kahler.
game Compton
Second set
Kahler.
tied, 4 games all.
Great break from them. Love to see them hitting, blitzing, playing their game, going toe-to-toe a little bit, doing what they need to do instead of playing passive.
So we're at 4-all, second set, APTA Men's Nationals semifinals.
There's Kahler now closing off the net with energy. The stuff we've seen from him so many times before.
It's the spin of Araya's
Yeah.
overhead there that caused the error.
Great shot. Whew.
Brad, we have an update from the other men's semifinals. Broderick and Palmer are up 4-2 over Hughes and Powers. Hughes and Powers won the first set, 6-3.
Oh, wow. Good play, though, from Compton. I love it. Exactly. They got to start attacking him back. Oh, that's just great.
Wow.
Awesome
Love,
job.
30.
It would be amazing if somehow Compton and Kahler can squeeze out this game and have their first lead of the match. Because wouldn't that be just so different, right? Their first lead, getting something in there. Just on the line from Arraya, great shot. you just go 1 point at a time.
You know, it's interesting because you could feel the spark in the last game out of Parsons again.
Oh, what a move by Kahler. Anticipating that. Yeah, you can
You know,
feel
like
it.
all of a sudden I just felt a little something, and
Well, this is what I would say I find different this year. And like you talked about, Arraya and Parsons are playing really well and peaking at the right time at the end of the season here. What I find different about Arraya here is more of his commitment to playing it out the way he's supposed to and keeping it in the right zone. In the past, you would find him when something would just change, any little thing, and then he would go off the rails. 4 errors, 2 errors, complete change in what he's doing. These days, and from short hills and from now, he's going right back to the plan of doing all the right things. He's not stringing together 3, 4 errors in a row. He would give a team life some of the time just by doing that. And here, Compton and Kahler created some of their life here by finally starting to pick up their play and attacking back. But once they have, now you see Arraya and Parsons just back to playing really good paddle. And they're not helping them feed their fire, you know, so to speak.
yep.
Wow, great lob running the line. Ah, see, that was probably a loose one there. Great play from
30,
Compton.
40.
But Juan got exactly the shot he wanted there. Gigantic point. Kahler
What a
down, love
great
40.
serve and a smart play.
Deuce.
And you had Parsons way back against the back screen trying to hit a rolly drive, and Kahler knew it was coming. They got this back to deuce. Imagine coming down from love 40 and getting up 5-4. Things just got interesting. But only really if they, well, not only if they get this game, but big deal if they get this game.
No.
A lot of kick. You could just see the movement on that ball up that
Advantage,
side
Parsons.
screen.
Yeah, Compton couldn't handle that one. And the spin spins off your paddle, too, in the direction it's moving. Rare backhand miss from
Deuce.
Parsons, but you've seen a few of them creep in.
Yep. 2 in this game. He had 1 little wide before.
Yep. People will go back to that moment when you talked about him making an hour's worth of no errors, Patty. Ooh.
3 in this game.
Yeah, there's another.
Advantage, Kahler.
I mean, Parsons is pressing here.
It looked like he pressed on that one, that I will say. Oh. How about that, Patty? 4 or 5 errors out of Parsons on his backhand, no less. Kahler and Compton come back from love 40 down and take their first lead of the match.
The hometown crowd is something to cheer about right now.
Wow.
Brad. Huge comeback for Kahler Compton.
That's incredible. You know, we were dead in the water 5 minutes ago. I was burying my soul and improving as a person out there, and now we're right in the thick of things here. It's pretty impressive.
Well, you know, Brad, if it does go 3 sets, just think of the opportunity for more growth that you'll have. Because it seems like on-air growth occurs more than off-air growth.
Yeah, I'm going to try to process that for a minute, Patty. I'm going to take that one in. I'm going to wait to respond, maybe a couple of changeovers, and then I'll fashion something there for
So there you have our current men's national rankings. Hughes and Powers, number 1, Arraya 2, with Parsons and Drew Jarrett 3. You know, you have the top 3 teams in the country out here in the semifinals. And, of course, we've got number 6, Brian Compton and Scott Kahler.
Yeah, they've had a great year. You know, a bunch of teams had some really good years. You know, So here we go.
Yep, and they had 2 wins. They won the Midwesterns we mentioned
15.
earlier, and they won the Cleveland
15 love,
Masters.
15 love.
All right, 15 love now in this crucial game here. We got Parsons serving to stay in this.
There you go. You. Me.
And would you say that Parsons pressed in that last game?
I would.
Yeah. Oh,
4 backhand error
that
balls
is
out of
just
Parsons in one
vintage
game.
Arraya. Beautifully done. To go up 30 love.
And that's where Juan is masterful. He'll take a ground stroke and make a move to the net, which is not at a time that most players, really can ever get away with it. But because of his hands, he makes the play.
He's actually probably just the best at that. And nice 40 love. This is exactly what Arraya Parsons need.
40 love.
Like the play, should have let the ball go through and let Compton just throw up a lob.
Yep. The problem with that play, sometimes you're so committed to it, it's hard to make that choice. Well, the last game was any indication. Being down 40 love is exactly where Kahler and Compton want them. Here's where they've shown this incredible discipline. They're just going to keep dumping it. And when they do this, this is truly the area where Kahler and Compton have not shown any ability to get anything. We did see Compton throwing a blitz in the last time, which was great. But
Yeah,
when
he'd
they're dumping it down
lobbed
the
a couple
center.
balls from the middle screen, and then kind of did a little sneak blitz, Brad.
Well, actually, he's going to the back end now. Surprised by that, but
Update on the other men's semis, 5-all with Broderick Palmer, Hughes and Powers. Hughes and Powers won the first set, 6-3.
oh, that's a good one. Smartly played there by Compton. No. Did not have the right angle or setup for that. Arraya was in control of that engagement.
Game, Arraya Parsons. The
Good
second
job.
set is tied, 5 games all.
5-all.
Kudos to Marshall Chapin and all the umpires who he has organized throughout the course of this weekend. I think they've done a great job, Brad.
Yes, some incredible organizers and volunteers. The umpires have been great. What you've seen sometimes in the past, too, when things go a little off or wrong here and there, you would see Arraya hang his head. You haven't seen any of that today. I think part of it's just the growth of Arraya, and part of it is his confidence in Mark Parsons as a partner. Even though he pressed in that one game and made those errors, he knows that's gonna be a regular situation. So he's not getting down or having the hangdog thing.
I mean, I've never seen Parsons have negative body language on the court, and Juan counts on that. He just knows he's rock solid over there.
That is not the drive I want from them. I do not want them hitting these off-pace shots. The drive, to me, has to be sharper or fully attacking. Hey, take it. Got a loose error from
15
Arraya.
love.
Put it in the bank. Great
Yep, that
start
was a
to the game.
gift.
Oh, that's that great hold of Arraya's. He can hit a sharp chip from there, and he hits it harder than you think.
On his backhand, Brad?
Yes, on his backhand. He can hit a sharp one-handed chip, or he pushes up the lob, and you really cannot tell until the last second. Of those shots, that's the best one-handed combo that I've ever seen in terms of the ability to be sort of deceptive and effective.
Yeah, you don't see that much deception out here, but that's what's made Juan such a unique player.
That's a great ball. Hammered right into
15,
Compton, who's,
ball.
I think he was trying to move out of the way, and he moved in the way. So, great shot there from Parsons, inside out forehand. 15 all.
Pulled out by Broderick, reversed by the chair umpire, and it's 6-5.
6-5. Hughes and Powers up
Come on.
over Broderick Palmer.
Can't track it down. Kahler, Compton
15,
looking at the
30.
corner.
Little confusion.
15-30.
I do not expect Parsons to miss this return of serve, Brad.
Okay. Oh, good shot there. Kahler.
Oh, what a shot at the line. Great get.
That was beautiful. Smooth transition play. Love it. Oh. Oh, see there again, he holds that forehand, flips up a lob, and he'll drive from that same setup. So
Yep, I thought he was going down the line on that shot.
Yep, that's what makes it unique. It's great. Great deception. It just keeps you that split second off balance, so that when he does hit it, it's like that. That was a primal
15,
guttural yell
40.
there. Great job and a great shot. And you can see Arraya working that point with holding the lob, not taking a drive when you thought he might. Then he slap shots it right at him there at the end. Kahler right on the net.
And when you said he holds the shot, Brad, it's just that he waits so long to hit it. He waits the ball gets
Game,
really
Arraya
close to
Parsons.
him and then pulls the trigger
lead
based on
second
what
set,
he
6 games
sees
to 5.
the other team gives him, in a
They won
look
the first set
position-wise.
6 games to
He's
one.
Right.
able to capitalize if someone's off the net, close to the net. That's how he'll decide. He'll make that decision at the last moment, and that's a unique ability in the sport.
And you saw the last shot that he hit there. He generated tremendous pace from like a mini window. It's sort of like a, like a kung fu 2-inch punch, from, right in there. You just put your hand through the bricks. And a great player can do that and learn how to generate that kind of pace with minimal to no backswing, really. So that's a great break for Arraya Parsons there. And they're up 6-5. And when the chips got down, you didn't sense anything out of Arraya Parsons, and that was great to see. Seems like they're really ready, or Arraya certainly is. Parsons, we know, has always been ready. He's a 3-time national champion. And we got double match point, by the way, over in the Hughes Powers match for Hughes and Powers. I think there was a crucial moment in the last game where Broderick called the ball out, but it was overruled by the umpire, but I'll have to confirm that.
Of course, match points against. We just saw Palmer stick a volley.
He's
Love,
made some
15.
incredible shots down match point. Oh, 2 great returns from
Love,
Compton and Kahler.
30.
See, I like that forehand of Compton's.
Oh no, he's been hit. He was hitting it yesterday. I mean, crushing it a few times. As I told you, he hit both Rose brothers.
Mrs. Rose mustn't be happy with him.
I don't know. Maybe the Rose brothers have been bad. Oh, but a good look.
15, 30.
Still by the wayside. Head talk from Powers.
Great lob from Compton. Oh! And there's that stuff we talk about, the turnaround drive from Arraya. It's unbelievable.
The live formation. Amazing thing about Parsons, he adapts. Whatever one wants to do, Parsons adapts to. So Hughes and Powers have gotten through the other half.
Oh! And
Just-
look at that, Compton, Kahler just
30
misses, but he
all.
tries to hit the attacking shot, 30 all.
Yep, 30
But I
all.
love how they started swinging, started attacking back. Still on the balance here. This is a huge point. Obviously, they are at this stage. He ooh. For some reason, I thought that was going wide. Looked like he lost in the sun to me, but he got it in there.
So Parsons and Arraya are 2 points getting to the finals with a matchups between number 1 and 2 in the country, Brad.
Did not love that look there, and now it
40,
is
30.
match point. Arraya puts that serve in the box as good or better than anyone at a crucial moment. Oh, great, Compton.
Yeah.
Araya's going cutter and misses it. All right. The door did come open, but it's after the point. Didn't affect it at all. Could have been a let if it was in the middle of the point. But incredible play. He had the winner on his paddle there, and he went for it. Can't fault him for that. No. Match point number 2.
Advantage, Arraya.
Good hit, though, from Kahler.
Wow,
Good hit.
he didn't miss by much.
Nope. Oh, what hands from Kahler. That is unbelievable.
What finesse here.
Oh,
Brad, are you going to be okay?
no. Ooh. Oh, thought he should have left that one for Compton, but he just gets it. Amazing lob. Oh,
Oh, great rip.
that's dangerous.
Oh,
No, he missed it by bouncing it out. What a
Game, set,
point,
and match,
back and
Arraya
forth.
Parsons.
And we were
6
dead in the
love,
water there,
7-5.
lifeless, Compton and Kahler. They turn it around, they start to bring out their game. They go down swinging. They find a way to attack back on Arraya Parsons. They find some offense out there. And kudos to them for making it a match and get it right down to the wire. And just real exciting by the end there, Patty. Pleasure calling it with you.
Brad, what a great match. And like I said, much anticipated final right now between number 1 in the country, Hughes and Powers, our defending national champs, up against Juan Arraya, looking for his first national title, and Mark Parsons, tournament number 2 seeds.
Well, we heard it right here from Patty, so we're going to come back with the women's final. And that's going to be incredible, followed by the men's final. So more incredible paddle to watch. And we'll be back right here on the APTA Network, presented by eNet Live after these messages.